Reason 4,792 of why you should double check and second guess any information that you get from TikTok. And we all know TikTok loves the liberal agenda, and this could be as identifiable as just looking at how Meg here has 50,000 likes. That's 50,000 likes, not views, likes on a post that is absolutely misinformation and quite possibly going to get somebody arrested when they take her words as the gospel. Meg here is under the edgy and cool idea that she's going to show law enforcement that she is her father's daughter, specifically in the case that ICE comes to her floor unit and tries to, I guess, apprehend somebody in the ICU. I don't know what floor she works in. I'm being hyperbolic. Meg, I get that you want to be edgy and cool, but you're not. And not only are you not, you're going to get somebody arrested, because as somebody who works in the healthcare industry, I also used to believe that HIPAA applied. And if law enforcement asked me questions about particular individuals, I did not have to comply with their investigation. And let me tell you, people, there is nothing further from the truth. Now, Meg specifically puts in her entire thing that you should not comply, not comply, not comply. And I'm going to tell you, that's how you end up in handcuffs, handcuffs, handcuffs.
It is, and a lot of action to talk about tonight when it comes to the issue of immigration. Let's talk about what he's done exactly when it comes to ICE. So right now, the Biden administration had given guidance to ICE that they were not to do migrant arrests at churches, at schools, and at hospitals. The Trump administration has now changed that guidance. The only guidance is now use common sense.
You see, when you decide that you don't want to comply with an investigation, you actually become a hindrance to an investigation, lovingly referred to as obstruction of justice. And that, my friends, can get you arrested and detained indefinitely, depending on the FAFO games you want to do. A simple AI overview will tell you that HIPAA applies to warrants and covered entities, and that you can, and basically you will, disclose information, specifically identifying information. There's a lot of things that don't need to be disclosed in a HIPAA-bound investigation, but I promise you, obscuring somebody's identity is not one of them. Do you need further proof? Right here from HHS themselves. Who is not required to comply with the HIPAA Privacy Act? And that would be your employers, most state and local police or other law enforcement agencies, ICE being a law enforcement agency, and then state agencies like CPS and other things like that. Long story short, if the unicorn of impossibility was to happen and you had ICE show up to your emergency department or any of your floors or any other area where you may be harboring somebody who is going to be deported, you are in fact required to give that information up, aka disclose identifiers, so that they can make a positive ID on somebody. Now, again, TikTok is a cesspool of nonsense that gets promoted. So I want everybody that works in healthcare to just remember that old Real Deal told you, if you decide that you're going to buck the system on law enforcement, you are going to catch a set of bracelets, and it's not going to be fun. The best course of action is just to comply with whatever warrant there is, and that's it. Because anything outside of a warrant, unless you're being detained for committing a crime, and you have to be told that you're suspected of a crime, means that it's a consensual contact. So let's be very clear. If law enforcement shows up and they don't have a warrant for something, you can just say, is this a consensual contact? I don't want to talk to you. Outside of that, if they produce a document that says you must help them with their investigation, brothers and sisters, don't end up in the pokey because Meg thought she was tough. I promise you, she'll fold like a house of cards the second she gets pressed.